But anyway, when you leave your house in the morning to run the kids to the school, when you leave your house on Saturday morning to go jog at the park, shut your garage door, arm your system, shut your garage door, make sure your system works, keep it online, keep the payments going. Make sure your do a monthly test on it. Make sure that your 110 decibel alarms is really able to scream when somebody does come in and can't hit the program the right numbers in it to disarm the system. Use it. You paid a lot of money for it. Okay, we'll talk later about the alarm system. But for right now, that zone of protection, that zone of safety, get with people that you have known for years. When your children are away from your house, know who they're with. If they're at daycares, make sure that these are credible daycares. Make sure they have nanny cams. It's great if you can access these nanny cams from a computer somewhere at your work or at your home. They have them out there. They offer them now. Go to those daycares. Might have to pay a little bit more, but you're paying $110, $130 a week anyway. Pay an extra $20 and get the real McCoy. Get the ones that pride themselves on offering a safe house. These are the ones you need to drop your kids with. Teenagers, I'm telling you one thing. There's so much pollution on the internet right now, so much exposure to these teenagers, they don't stand a chance. So mom and dad, get your heads out of the sand and think that all is well, that your kids are good, that they're part of a church group. Oh, come on, man. They're sexting and texting and doing all this other nonsense. Maybe they're not, but they sure have a boatload of friends that might be doing it. Weed out the bad ones. Weed out the bad ones. You're the parent. Act like one. Put your foot down. My father had this when I was growing up, my father had this thing that was called his foot in my rear end that kept me in line. You can't do that nowadays. They call the cops on you. And you know, they call defects. They threaten to call the cops. They threaten to call defects. Let me tell you something. As long as you're paying the electric bill, as long as you're paying rent in that house, you have some form of control. If they don't want to act right, if they want to be a hellion and do all that other stuff, then, I mean, I can't suggest. My kids, I have great kids. I've been blessed with great kids. Not perfect kids. I said great kids. They have a lot of things and issues in their life that have to do with me going to prison. And but I've come back, and I'm here now, and if they need me, they know I'm right there. And I keep a tight leash on my little 16-year-old. I meet and greet every boy that comes in her life, within that sphere of influence in her life, within her zone of safety. I am right there. I meet them, I greet them, and I let them know, if something happens to my child on your watch, buddy, I'm going to cut your arms off. Of course, I can't say that, but they pretty much figured that out already. Get a zone of safety around your house. Get people that you can rely on and trust and depend upon with your neighbors. Get to meet your neighbors. Get to know one another's schedules, so that when a blue Ford pickup truck backs up into your garage in mid-morning, they look out and there's two guys that are loading up the back of the truck and going in and out of the house, and it just doesn't look right with their gut feeling. Call the cops, call the cops, call the cops. All right, well, that's enough for now. I'm almost where I got to be, and I'll holler back in just a minute. All right, here we go again. I'm trying to teach y'all how to protect your family. I'm trying to teach everybody how to protect their belongings at home. We're coming into a time in our nation's history when people are going to do desperate things. And a lot of that's going to involve people stealing things. Some aren't so brazen as to become armed robbers, but that's going to happen too. Those of you that work in the money carrying industry, like Brinks, you know, armored car guys that move stuff around. Get it together, man. Put them vests on. Carry that money out. I'm telling you, you got to be ready for the unexpected. It's going to happen. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of Keystone burglars and a lot of Keystone robbers who've never done it before, but they're going to try it because they're desperate. A lot of pride on the line. They had degrees in college. Now they have nothing. They've moved back with mom and dad. Anyway, a lot of bad scenarios are playing out. Unemployment's going to run out for millions of Americans in the next 3 to 4 months. Companies downsizing, dumping millions and millions more people into the unemployment ranks. So a lot of bad stuff, a lot of negative stuff. So I'm going to warn you, I'm going to give you some preparation and some ways to set lines of defense so your house and your property and your children are safe. I can't protect you. And it's sad to say, most of the police that are in our country, God bless them. I mean, I love the badge. I'm glad they're there. But most of the time, they're just a response factor. Their patrols, you know, elusive career criminals know when the cops patrol. They monitor the frequencies that the law enforcement uses, the city law, the GBI, the state patrol, county law, city law. You can buy a book online. It gives you every frequency used by every law enforcement agency in the United States in the different counties. The thing is this: protect your property, set lines of defense. Those of you that have trailers and equipment and stuff like that, put kill switches on the equipment if you have to leave them on job sites. You can't GPS every piece of equipment. That would be nice if you could, but who can afford that? So set lines of defense by putting kill switches on your machinery. Don't load your machine onto a truck and then leave the truck overnight, because like I used to do, or I can't say I used to do, I used to allegedly do, somebody will come along and just take the whole truck. It's bait, it's eye candy. Those of you that have big, beautiful riding lawnmowers at your house, you got those big $800 stainless steel grills, cover them up. Eye candy, eye candy. Put the weed eaters in the garage and close the garage doors. Put your cat door down on one of your doors so that you don't have to leave the garage up a foot. A foot will let anybody in. I mean, pretty good sized criminal won't get in there, but he'll let in the small guy to go in, open the house, and then they have a heyday with your stuff. If you have trailers, bass boats, any kind of trailers, utility trailers, cover trailers, landscape equipment trailers, as long as those wheels can turn, your stuff can get stolen. Don't be fooled by all those powerful, all those expensive tongue locks that you can put on there. That's nonsense. If I told you how many trailers I backed up to and dropped onto the bumper and used the tow chains, the safety chains, wrapped around the bumper to tow them away, those locks don't do nothing really. What you got to do is you got to run a chain, get a good chain, cut a hole in the rim where you can run a chain through that. If you can't remove the tires off the trailer, because of the practical sense, you can't put tires back on it every morning because it's the time frame. Run a chain, a big, loud, noisy chain. Criminals don't like to make noise when they're stealing your stuff in the middle of the night. Post a dog out there by your equipment, a barking dog. Criminals don't like barking dogs. Get Georgia Power to put you one of those poles out there with a light. Criminals don't like lights. Every kind of, there's a lot of lines of defense, lights, camera, a lot of things. Dogs, barking dogs. If you have a big yard, post some cameras and post a late night security guard there. Put dogs in the yard through the night. Something. Do something. Don't just sit back and become a target and say, oh, well, I never thought it would happen to me. Guess what? It's going to happen. People are out here prowling. They're out here, the predators. They're not out here, not everyone's out here looking to kill you or rape your wife or steal your children, but they're looking to steal your lawnmowers and your weed eaters, and it all runs together. What one criminal element will do is, with that, in that perspective, another one will do. If I drive down the road and I look and I see a house that is just easy pickings, I'm not even a predator. I mean, an active predator. I'm not even one that's actually looking to steal, but there are those that do, and when they go down the road, they're looking just like that. Boom, boom. That's like being in a freaking smorgasbord. It's like being in a buffet. Pick and choose. They see that riding lawnmower sitting out there. You cut the grass on Saturday, you hadn't washed it off, it's sitting out there by the garage. You know how easy it is to back up, throw the ramps out, and load up a riding lawnmower, pull up a little utility trailer. And these guys, you know, I'm telling you, they're brazen criminals. You know, they're getting braver and they're getting braver. And the thing is, you shouldn't have to suffer. I hate that America is in the toilet and everything, but protect your property. Set up lines of defense. Be on alert. Every day you wake up doesn't have to be consumed with trying to keep the bad guy out of your property. It should just be second nature that the bad guy is kept away from your property and out of your life. It's not that hard. Once you set it in your mind to do it, once you believe within your heart that there are bad people out here, and they do cross your path every day, maybe not to the extent that they do in the big cities, but out here in the country as well as in the big cities, the predator is on the prowl. Get this in your mind. There are bad people out here. Bad people. Some of them worse than others. All right, that's enough for now. I'm getting to where I got to go to work, and I'm going to pick it up later.